Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining today. Really appreciate you taking some time out of what we know is a very, very busy and hectic time to learn a little bit about Tauck and what we're up to here. I just want to say a big thank you to all of the fabulous agents at All Travel and Creative Vacations for sharing this with you and for allowing me to come in and chat directly with you today. My name is Kristen Hall. I am the National Account Manager for Tauck and looking forward to updating you on what we've got going on here at Tauck. What we'll go through today is I'll just give you an update in terms of where we stand in terms of restarting and our health and safety guidelines. I'll give you a little bit of info about who we are at Tauck, and then just run you through some of our trips where we're starting to see some real interest come from our traveler community. If you do have any questions in the follow-up, please do feel free to reach out to your fabulous team at All Travel and Creative Vacations. They will be able to assist with anything that comes up. Okay, great. So I'll go ahead and get started. In terms of our current status, we are on a pause for all of our operations through the end of November of 2020. We have, just as of this morning, put a pause on operations for all of our cruise programs through the end of the year. But if your journey has been affected by one of those cancellations, we will be in touch with your agents and they will be able to notify you directly. And as always, you can always check on Tauck.com for the most up-to-date information, but most likely your advisors got a heads up before it even ended up there. In terms of restarting, we are working with our team on a daily basis, both here domestically as well as with our partners abroad, to see when we'll be able to actually reopen again. Obviously, our #1 priority will be on the health and safety of our guests. But we also want to make sure that beyond being a healthy and safe trip, that we're also providing exceptional experiences for our guests. So if we have a tour, we think we can operate safely, but we don't think it's going to be exceptional for whatever reason, the experience won't live up to the Tauck name, we simply won't operate it. It's as simple as that. We also have now published our Travel Well Pledge, which are our health and safety guidelines that we're going to be having our vendors, our employees, as well as our guests sign on to before we actually start operating again. You can find all of this on our website. If you go to Tauck.com, there's a big banner at the top of the page, and if you click on that, it'll bring you through to our health and safety guidelines. There we have laid out the guidelines with each of our individual vendors, so individual hotel brands, the coach companies we work with, even the museums we're visiting. All of the guidelines will be there for you to view. We also there have our Travel Well Pledge that we'll have our guests sign on to. And essentially what this is just kind of a form where you acknowledge what the experience will be like on the ground. We'll also ask you to confirm that you obviously don't currently have the virus, you don't have any symptoms. As soon as you do have symptoms, you'll let our tour director know, and that you haven't been around anyone who has the virus. We also will ask you to agree to wear masks in group settings. We'll ask you to social distance and follow the health and safety guidelines of the destinations that we're visiting. All of this will need to be signed before departure for a couple of reasons. One, we want you to know exactly what it is that you're signing up for. We want to kind of give you a heads up on what the experience will look like, but we will also be enforcing this while out on tour. So if halfway through the trip, one of the guests decides they no longer want to wear a mask, they will be asked to leave by our tour directors. And something we're going to take really seriously because we think the health and safety of the group needs to be put ahead of the individual desires of some of our travelers. You will have the opportunity to opt out after looking at the pledge. So if you view the pledge and decide, this just isn't the experience that I want to participate in right now, that's just fine. All you'll have to do is either cancel and move to another date, or you can move into one of our dream savers so you can book when you're ready to do so. But we do hope that this will give everybody a good sense of what it will be like to travel with Tauck and keep everybody safe and healthy as well. And now we've just launched our new private departures program. This is a really, really exciting program that we've seen some great interest in just in the couple of weeks since we've launched it. This allows you to reserve a private departure for a group of up to 24 guests, and the departure will be exclusive for your group. Right now we have it available on select North America and European land dates, but we will also be offering it on our bridges and exotics portfolios as well. The way the pricing will work is that it will be a premium on top of our small group pricing with a minimum of 10 paying guests. So you can have a group smaller than 10, but you will be responsible for paying for 10 guests if it is less than that number. The premium will be somewhere in the neighborhood of between $500 and $1,500 per person, depending on the length of the trip. as well as the number of guests traveling. And everything will be included that would be included on a normal Tauck tour. So all of the excursions, the dedicated Tauck tour director, all the meals per the brochure, as well as the, the transfers to and from the airport, the Wi-Fi at the hotel, all of that included in the upfront price. But we'll also include our complimentary More Time Together night for everyone on the tour. The More Time Together night is a pre or post night that you can use on either end of your trip. We'll also offer for every 10 guests that travel, the 11th will be free. So a nice savings there. We love this for folks who maybe are ready to travel, but aren't sure they're ready to travel with folks outside of their kind of bubble, if you will, so their friends or their family. This will give you an opportunity to travel with Tauck, but without other guests that you're not familiar with. So with that, I do just kind of want to give you a brief overview of who we are at Tauck and what kind of makes us a little bit unique. At Tauck, we believe in a few key things. One is never settling for ordinary. And what this means is that we never want you to go out on a Tauck tour and come home and say, well, that's something I could have organized on my own. Why did I go with Tauck? So we have a team of sleuths all around the world whose job it is to sniff out the extraordinary, the unique, the once in a lifetime, and then help us to deliver it to you as our guests. And so it'll be events like what you see here, this palace photo that you see. This is Palais Pallavicini in Vienna. We're greeted at the door here by the Duke, whose family has lived in this palace for generations. Welcomed into this gorgeous ballroom where we have a beautiful multi-course meal, and there's a wonderful orchestra playing and opera singers and ballet dancers. It's truly a unique and once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's also events like your private after-hours visit to the Vatican museums, exclusive for Tauck guests, so that you could literally lie on the floor of the Sistine Chapel and look up at the frescoes if you would like. Or our dinner prepared by Prince Charles and Princess Diana's private chef while we're in London. It's all of these extraordinary moments that take a Tauck tour from being a great trip to being a truly exceptional experience. And we offer those events throughout our entire portfolio of itineraries. We also believe in leaving your worries at home. So basically what this means is that we have taken care of all of the little hassles that come up on a tour or any kind of travel, so that all you have to do is kick back, relax, and enjoy not only the fabulous destinations you're visiting, but also the other guests that you're traveling with. So everything's included with Tauck. Every single excursion is listed in the brochure. There's no options to upgrade for meals or whatever it might be. If it's on the brochure, it is included for everybody on tour. We've also included things like our luggage ferries. Luggage ferries are the folks who will meet you at your destination airport. They'll take your baggage from you, and when you arrive in your hotel room, your bag will be waiting for you. And then when it's time to move to the next hotel or to the ship, someone will come into your room and take your bag, and when you arrive in your next destination, your bag will be waiting for you. Now that might seem like a small deal, but when you're moving hotels sometimes 5 times over the course of 2 weeks, it's a really big deal to not have to drag that luggage across the heavily carpeted hallway and through a lobby and onto a bus, and we've already taken it for you. And there's also our small change tipping. We have taken care of all of the tipping for the bellmen and the porters and even sometimes the restroom, so that you're not rifling around in your pocket trying to find the correct amount of change in the local currency of whatever destination you're in to appropriately tip the staff there. We've taken care of all of that for you, so that there's none of those little hassles that sometimes pop up when you are traveling. We've taken care of all that for you, so all you have to do is relax, enjoy, and meet the fabulous guests you're traveling with. And then, of course, our tour directors. We have 350 of them worldwide. They have an average tenure with us of over 12 years. So not folks who just kind of woke up one day and decided they wanted to work in the travel industry. These are folks who have lived in the destinations we're visiting. They love the destinations we're visiting, and they're excited now to share them with our guests. They're there for us when things go well, but also, unfortunately, sometimes when things do go wrong. For example, I was out on a river cruise last year, and when one of our guests came down with appendicitis, we didn't want to take one of our tour directors away from the staff to go with them to the hospital. So what did we do? We called one of our off-duty tour directors who happened to live in the town in Germany where we were docked. She met the guest on board, brought her to the hospital, and then visited her every day for 5 days until she was ready to travel home again. That's the type of experience you can expect from a Tauck tour director that you're not going to get from anyone else. We also believe in providing a great value. Now, Tauck is never going to be the least expensive option on the market, that's for sure. When you look at everything a Tauck tour includes, all the excursions, the premium hotels, the meals per the brochure, the transfers to and from the airport, even the Wi-Fi at the hotels, if you were to compare that against some of our lower priced competitors and see what it would actually cost to include all of those extras with that competitor, the Tauck product will come out as a better deal 10 times out of 10. That's something that we really pride ourselves on. You know, our guests have told us time after time they're willing to pay for an exceptional experience, but they want to make sure that they're getting a good bang for their buck. That's something we take really seriously here at Tauck. And then, of course, being true to your roots. This is probably more true now than ever, even in our 95 years that we've been in existence. This is a photo of our first ever tour in 1925. That strapping lad on the right is Arthur Tauck Sr. He took an ad out in the New York Star Ledger advertising for a week-long all-inclusive trip through the backwoods of New England for $69. We offer a very similar trip at a very different price point today, but this photo is a good reminder of everything that we've come through to get to where we are today. You know, we've been through world wars, recessions, public unrest, you name it. We've come through all of those events stronger on the other side, and we will do the same here with this new crisis that we're all facing. You know, the Tauck family still owns and operates the business, and they're completely committed to seeing us to the other side of this thing. We have large cash reserves. The team has plans in place if we have another 4 weeks of not being able to operate, or if we have another 4 years of not being able to operate. So no need to worry about Tauck going anywhere. This company is committed to the next 95 years as much as we were to the first 95. And then, of course, having a journey for every traveler. One of the unique things about Tauck as a tour operator is that we offer all different kinds of trips. We operate on all 7 continents, everything from small ship cruising to river cruises, safaris, land journeys, everywhere all over the world. So there truly is a journey for whatever your interest might be. We even have family travel if that's something you're looking to do. And so, you know, the thing is, if you come to Tauck and you have a great time on a river cruise and then you decide that you want to go on a safari, you don't have to find a whole new tour operator to trust. You know, you've enjoyed the Tauck experience, and now you can have that same experience again, but in a whole new destination. This also speaks to the idea of the excursion choices we offer once you're out on tour. For example, on our river cruises, we offer between 2 and 4 excursion options in every port of call, and every one of those options is included. You can even have participate in multiple of them if you would like, and can fit them into your schedule. And so we'll offer things like active options, so hiking, biking, kayaking, more traditional tours like city tours and museum visits. And then more culturally immersive options like dance classes, wine tastings, cooking classes, so that at the end of a tour, literally we could have 60 people out on a river cruise and not a single one of them could have taken the same tour as the person next to them. So allowing all of the comfort, convenience, and extraordinary moments that come along with a Tauck tour, but with the ability to customize for your specific needs, interests, and desires. Okay, so with that, I do want to jump into some of those itineraries that I mentioned. You know, we have seen some new interest coming in terms of new tours. We just want to share with you what our other guests are booking and what they're finding interesting as of today. The focus has definitely been on North America. The good news is that Tauck's been operating in North America for almost a century. We have 40 different itineraries, everything from national park tours to cosmopolitan city trips to cruises, you name it, we offer it. So really, no matter what your interests are, there's probably a trip that we can offer you domestically that will fit them. Right now, where we're seeing the most interest is definitely in the national parks, and our guests are telling us that they have been kind of cooped up at home and are really looking for an opportunity to explore the great outdoors, but also because they know traveling outdoors is a little bit safer than traveling indoors right now. So this really gives them a nice opportunity to have an exceptional experience while being safe outdoors and being able to kind of spread their wings a little bit. Throughout the national park system and really throughout our trips throughout North America, we have a wonderful partnership with Ken Burns, the famed documentarian. You may know him from his documentary series with PBS. He's done fabulous documentaries on things like baseball and prohibition, Vietnam, the Civil War, you name it. He works with us not just on different itineraries that he helps us put together, but also on little vignettes that we show the guests each day to give them some insight into what it is that you're about to go visit. One of those tours that we worked on with Ken that is super popular for us right now is our Yellowstone and Grand Tetons National Park trip. This is a 7-night tour from Jackson, Wyoming, all the way to Rapid City, South Dakota. Now, along the way, we'll stay in in-park accommodations throughout the trip. We have a wonderful rafting adventure on the Snake River that we have got planned. We'll have a visit to Mormon Row where we actually get exclusive access because of a restoration project that we did with the National Park Service a couple of years back. And then a guided tour of Mount Rushmore. My favorite visit, though, is in Cody. Of course, we visit the famed rodeo there. We also do this really fun cookout out under the stars. We make s'mores. It's a really, really fun night for everyone. Next is our Best of Hawaii trip. We've been operating this tour now for over 50 years. So this is a real tried and true for Tauck. So it's great to see that it's getting a kind of a more popularity as people are looking for ways to travel here in the States. This is an 11-night trip. We'll visit Oahu, Hawaii, Kauai, and Maui. Along the way, we'll stay in some of the premier properties across the island. We've seen the beautiful Pink Palace in Waikiki, the Fairmont in Hawaii and Maui, and then the Grand Hyatt in Kauai. All of the rooms will be ocean view rooms as well. In terms of excursions, we do a wonderful welcome dinner at Iolani Palace in Honolulu. We'll do a guided tour of Pearl Harbor. We'll include a wonderful outrigger canoe ride and then a helicopter tour of Kauai, which is absolutely stunning. That's this picture that you see here on the screen. Our farewell dinner, though, is everyone's favorite. It's a luau, of course, and we'll have hula dancing lessons and a cooking demonstration. It's great fun for everybody. Now, we know that in visiting these wonderful beaches and these world-class resorts, folks are going to want some leisure time to enjoy the beautiful beaches and the ocean. So we will include that throughout the tour. So you'll have plenty of time to not only enjoy the fabulous excursions, but also the wonderful beaches we'll be visiting. Next is Europe. Great to see that Europe is really seeing a resurgence with folks showing some more interest here and putting in some bookings for us. This is our Northern Spain, the Rioja Valley and Madrid program. It's a 13-night tour from Barcelona to Madrid. From Barcelona, we'll head up to Montserrat, up into the beautiful Abbey that's up in the mountains there. Then on to Basque Country, where we'll visit San Sebastian and Bilbao. On to Oviedo for a visit to the Rioja Valley, and then the pilgrimage site of Santiago de Compostela. And then once in Madrid, we'll have a private tour of the Prado Museum, which is absolutely fabulous. Now, along the way, the focus is really on the culinary and wine culture of the region. We'll have cooking classes, we'll do wine tastings, we'll meet with local vintners. So lots of opportunities for any foodies that might be out there listening today. Next is our Normandy, Brittany, Paris, and Loire Valley. This is really classic northern France. It's a round trip Paris over 12 nights. We'll head up to Giverny, which is where we'll do a private visit to Monet's garden. So you get to see the water lilies without any of the crowd. Then on to Normandy, we'll visit the American beaches as well as the American cemetery there. In Mount Saint Michel, we'll do a beautiful cruise of the Gulf. My favorite visit, though, is once we get into Chateau country. We visit this private country estate where they'll do a hunting demonstration for us, and everyone will be dressed in full regalia, and we dine out on their great lawn under the stars. It's absolutely beautiful. Once back in Paris, we'll do a guided tour of Versailles, and then my highlight, which is our private after-hours visit to the Louvre. So you get the Louvre all to yourself without any other guests there. So for an hour and a half, all the masterpieces of the Louvre at your fingertips without any of the crowd. Next is river cruising. Great to see that river cruising really is showing some interest again. We're thrilled to see it. What we're hearing from our guests is that they actually feel safer on river cruising than they do in hotels. And the reason for that is that they aren't exposed to new people every day. It's the same staff and the same guests. The staff and guests will all be screened every single day. We'll have a medical professional sailing on board with us. We have even a separate cabin that we'll keep empty for quarantine should it need be. But different for river cruising versus the ocean cruising is that you're always in country. So there's never a risk of being stranded out at sea, and you're never more than 30 minutes from the next dock. So if you do need medical attention, very easy and very quick to get you access to that. So nice option there. This is one of our most popular right now. It's actually new for us for 2021 as well. It's the Automotive Heritage of the Danube from Budapest to Frankfurt over 11 nights. So a 7-night cruise, 4 nights on land. This will include obviously lots of car culture visits. We'll have a visit to the to some private car collections. We'll visit the BMW and Volkswagen plants. We'll even have an opportunity for a private driving experience on the Autobahn once we're in Frankfurt, which would be so neat. For those of you who maybe have a group where some people aren't as interested in cars as the others, it's still a really nice option because we will include all of our traditional cultural excursions for this part of the river. So the palace dinners, the city tours, museum visits, wine tastings, all of that will still be included just with the added enhancement of car culture. It is selling very well for 2021. I will note we only have 1 departure left with space, but we're about to open up the tours for 2022. So if you do have interest, reach out to your advisor and they'll be able to let you know what's available now. And then everyone's favorite, of course, is Autumn Along the Rhine, including Munich's Oktoberfest. This is a fabulous 9-night trip, 7-night cruise from Amsterdam down to Basel, and we'll include a visit to Lucerne, so you can go up to Mount Pilatus, which is like walking into an IMAX movie. It's absolutely gorgeous. From there, of course, we'll head to Munich for 2 nights hotel. I love this tour for anyone who's had Oktoberfest on the to-do list, but maybe it's been a little bit overwhelmed by the size and scale of the event. We'll have Tauck reserved tables. All of our guides will speak both German and English, so they can assist with ordering the food, the beer, the lederhosen if you're feeling so inclined, but a really fun trip here. We've got 2 departures in September of 21 and 3 in September of 22, so do take a peek as they are filling. And then just a quick look at our boats. All of them have been brought down to the steel over the last 2 to 3 years, so essentially brand new builds. As you can see on board, it's kind of a casual elegance. We want folks to know that you're in a luxury environment. It never feels so stuffy that you can't quite relax. And then on board, all of our water products, every single thing is included. So all the shore excursions, the 4 Tauck director level staff, all of the meals, unlimited beverages. You could literally carry around a bottle of them away with you from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to bed if you felt so inclined. The Wi-Fi, airport transfers, and all of the tipping, all included in the upfront price. Important to note about river cruising, though, is that our Category 1 cabins are always solo supplement free. So if you do have, if you are traveling as a solo, it's a really nice savings there. And this is the case, even if there is a hotel stay associated with a particular river itinerary, will still be solo supplement free throughout the entirety of the trip. Now we do offer solo savings dates throughout our entire portfolio of trips, and you can always find them in our brochure. Your wonderful advisors, of course, at All Travel and Creative Vacations will be able to assist you with that. So there are always savings options available for our solo guests. All right, well, thank you so much for joining today. It was so great to have an opportunity to share what we're up to here at Tauck with you. We really appreciate your support. And of course, please do reach out to your fabulous agents at All Travel and Creative Vacations. They really are the best in the business. You guys have chosen well. So thank you again and have a wonderful day. And we look forward to welcoming you back out on tour real soon. Bye-bye.